In the dark gulf between galaxies, where human maps are nothing but guesses and whispers, a lonely station drifted, a beacon built not for ships, but for memory. The Last Lighthouse of Andromeda was its name, though none alive remembered who lit it. Its signal pulsed faintly across the void, steady as a heartbeat, reaching ears that were never meant to hear. Captain Elias Marrick, of the Terran deep-range vessel Orion's Wake, was the first human to answer. He found the station abandoned, yet alive. Its corridors hummed softly with ancient energy, its walls lined with alien script, glowing as though eager to speak. When his boots touched the floor, the beacon responded. It whispered in voices that were not his own, civilizations long extinguished, their last words stitched into light. Elias felt the weight of entire histories pressing into him. He knew in that instant this was not just a station, it was a vault of remembrance, and he had been chosen to listen. But with every light comes a shadow, and the void was already stirring. Days turned into weeks as Elias remained aboard the beacon. Each chamber revealed fragments of lives, a lullaby from a species that sang in harmonics beyond human range, a treaty carved into crystal, promising peace to stars that had long since gone cold, the final heartbeat of a mother recorded as her world burned. He realized the lighthouse was not simply remembering, it was guarding. For every ember of memory stored, there was a lock, and for every lock, a key. Elias became the custodian, deciphering their messages, feeling their grief and triumph. But the more he learned, the stronger the signal grew, and in its strength, it attracted attention. Distant eyes turned toward Andromeda's edge. The lighthouse was never meant to remain hidden forever. One night, Elias awoke to alarms. The beacon had detected incoming ships, not Terran, not friendly, predators of the void, species that consumed not just bodies, but stories, erasing entire legacies as though they had never been. And now they were coming for the lighthouse. The void ships arrived without sound, black silhouettes blotting out stars. They carried no emblems, no identity, only hunger. Elias, a single human with an old ship, stood between them and the memories of 1,000 civilizations. The lighthouse's systems responded, awakening defenses that had slumbered for eons. Light cannons, shields woven from resonance, walls that sang with defiance. But the invaders pressed harder, their beams erasing entire chambers with each strike. Elias fought not with strength, but with wit. He rerouted the memory banks, scattering fragments into hidden relays across the void. If the lighthouse fell, its soul would endure. Hours stretched into days, the station groaned under the assault. Yet within its halls, the voices of the forgotten grew louder, as if encouraging their lone guardian. He felt them not as echoes, but as allies. Every civilization he had mourned now lent him resolve. And when the predators finally breached, he faced them not with fear, but with the fury of memory itself. The final battle was not fought with weapons, but with stories. Elias activated the core of the lighthouse, a pulse of radiant energy that unleashed every recorded memory into the void. The predators screamed as the tide of remembrance flooded them, each story searing into their consciousness. They could not consume what refused to be forgotten. In that moment, Elias became more than human. He was a vessel of histories, a living chronicle of all who had come before. The lighthouse's light merged with him, and his voice carried across Andromeda an unbroken song of defiance, of survival, of legacy. When the dust settled, the predators were gone, their ships dissolved into silence. The lighthouse stood, battered but alive, and Elias remained, no longer just a captain, but the Keeper of Embers. Humanity would hear his call. They would come not just to explore, but to remember. For in the end, the true measure of a species was not in conquest, but in the stories it chose to preserve. And so the lighthouse of Andromeda continued to shine, not as a relic, but as a promise.